What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 9th day of February. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Okay, it is again the 9th day of February. Here we are at about 69.3K with roughly 9 hours left in the day. It is Monday. It's the beginning of a brand new week. We just closed out the last week, and we actually have a nice pronounced wick there. We've seen plenty of times where we've had very big wicks that didn't amount to anything. Right? A very big wick here that didn't amount to anything. A very big wick here that held us up for a second, but really it didn't amount to much, right? We've seen wicks like this and we come back down the next week. I'm just saying, while overall I do believe we've seen the brunt of this move down, it's completely acceptable and possible to still go lower. And again, we look at this on a daily time frame and you see the RSI, you see how deep in the oversold zone it is. Let's just, oh, come on now. There we go. We just go back to, let's say, the beginning of the bull market that we just ended, unfortunately. Whenever we had our low point here in the RSI, was that the low? Yes, but did you come back down to this low? Yes, you did. You saw, and even technically still, I think that was a slightly lower low. Let's just see. Here, this is what I'm going to do. Hold on. We're going to make this easier for everybody, hopefully. We're going to put it right there. We're going to put it right there, and right there, and right there. And then maybe some of this, some of that. One more. Maybe not. We don't need to do that one, okay, because we're already aware. All right, so here, whenever you hit that same level or lower in the RSI, right, getting to these low points, you were at your low. You pumped a lot. You came back down very close. You still worked your way up overall. And in this grand consolidation phase, you came back down to this low area, maybe not lower than it, but low area multiple times with substantial bounces, but came down to it multiple times. Okay. We look at this point here, whenever you got oversold, again, you were at your low, you bounced, you came back down, bounced, came back down, and you actually put in a lower low. This one was a one-off. It was just a quick dip, and then we ripped, but whatever. Here, we got this low in the RSI. We still had a lower low. We had a nice, fantastic pump and came back down, not just back down, but to a lower low. Here, we had a flat area. It wasn't the same in the RSI, but just showing this consolidation, this how Bitcoin does things, right? We're consolidating. We even moved up, and we had a great time afterwards, but not before getting a lower low. How many people told themselves, ooh, that's, I'm glad that it held up right there. If we go anywhere below there, we're definitely screwed. We went below there, and then that was the best time to buy before probably the best rally, if not one of the best rallies in the last bull market. The main point that I'm trying to drive across here is that we got pretty low in the RSI, and it's not guaranteed. It doesn't have to happen, but it's not uncommon in moments like this for the price to come back down and even put in a lower low and even break out and move out to the upside, move upwards afterwards. It's not uncommon to do any of those things. And I do believe from here, from this low or from this general area, we are more or less going to be in a consolidation phase for probably the next couple of months, maybe until April, maybe until May or June. And the height of this consolidation phase, I believe, will be somewhere around 80K without actually penetrating 80K. So something around these lows without actually interacting with these lows. That's my thoughts. Similar to what we did back here, right? And it's actually very similar to what Bitcoin likes to do throughout its history, is find resistance just below those points. Just below those points. You actually found resistance here at this support, not that support. So in that same kind of context, everyone might be looking at this area to find resistance at, when really maybe we should be looking at this area or this area, something down here. 76K. I could see us stopping at 76K. I could see us going a little bit higher. Who cares what I could see, though? The price is going to do whatever it wants, but the main point of what I'm trying to address here is while we're in this consolidation phase over the months to come and we are slowly but surely working our way up to something around here, we can see a lower low. So just don't prepare for that necessarily. Prepare for it. Don't count on it, but it can happen. Let's look at the short-term stuff, and then we'll zoom back out. Okay. I don't even know if the directional heading should be to the downside or the upside from here, but we're We're going to figure it out right now. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then zoom back out. Okay, 1 hour time frame here. A little bit of a double top look. Bitcoin doing the same shenanigans it always does. You've got your resistance point here. As soon as you get above it, that's your high, and now you're selling off. Volume's picking up a little bit to the downside. You do have a lot of volume here on this 1 hour candle. It is Monday, which is nice. I don't like this structure typically. That typically makes me think that you do go down. Like rolling over typically is met with a fierce drop like that. Like that's just how it is. So that doesn't mean that we have to see a lower low, but something maybe a little bit lower than what we have here, and maybe in a kind of fashion like this where it just scares people. Watch. I mean, you just saw a higher high, and that marked the high, right? That as soon as you quote unquote broke out, that's where it was the worst time to buy, the best time to sell. What if it's the same thing to the downside? What if as soon as we get below this low, you'll come down, you'll bounce off of this prior resistance for support, but you're going to dip down and then you're going to come back up, right? Like maybe it's that simple. Maybe it's more fierce than that. We'll see. Let's look at the fibs and see what's going on here from a low to a high. We're going to take this high, not the fake out high, okay? I mean, the 382 is right there. Right? You'd go just below these lows. You'd find support at the 382, very common to do. You might even wick a little bit below there to find support at these points of resistance, which is it's very common, not just to find support on it like this. Like sometimes that happens, and oftentimes in very strong moves you can see that happen. But most of the time with the 382, it's like this. It's a subtle difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. You do wick oftentimes just below there. You wick. So I could see us finding support somewhere just below 67K, just above 66K. That's what I think is going to happen. I haven't even looked at the indicators. Yeah, RSI looks bearish. Stochastics are suitable for that. The MACD is suitable. I mean, they don't really matter. Either of these indicators, they don't really matter right now because it's the 1 hour time frame and we're just so choppy and sideways, so it's probably not that relevant anyways. But 4 hour time frame here, again, you've got your hidden bearish divergence with your, I guess you have higher highs here technically, which is good. That's nice. But overall, your RSI is bearish. Overall, you have been finding resistance in these areas here and even lower. Like, so, you know, you're having difficulties here. It looks, in my opinion, better that you have higher highs with higher highs than it would have looked. But still, overall, I don't think we're really in a healthy environment, which leads me to believe that we could come down. I mean, hell, we could even go lower than what I'm saying. Maybe we go below 66K. If we had a 4 hour close below here, we'd get some bullish divergence on the RSI. Then we'd have a very bullish setup from a lower price. And still, again, whether we drop $2,000, $4,000 from here, whether we drop another $10,000 from here, I don't know. I just expect that one way or another we're going to slowly be recovering to the upside. But at the moment, I feel pretty comfortable calling for 67 to 66K. I feel pretty comfortable calling for that. Stochastics look a little bit bearish. MACD's bearish overall. Makes sense that we probably come down a little bit. Daily time frame, obviously everything's bearish. Very, 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 very bearish. And with that, again, just be open-minded. While I am calling for a bounce at 67 to 66K, it's completely acceptable and normal, and it happens all the time, where when Bitcoin's bottoming out like this, you actually kind of meander with this zone and get lower lows. You're still in this area of bottoming out. Nobody's going to be wrong for saying, you know, this is a good time to buy, more or less, especially in the long term. But, you know, we look at this from a low here to a high, and you barely, oh so barely, missed that 2618. Maybe you have a date with destiny. You're finding resistance here at the 1618. Maybe you go down to the 2618 for support. You get a slightly lower low, and that's where we move up. Does that sound familiar? You get a slightly higher high, that's where we move down. You get a slightly higher high, that's where we move down. As soon as we take out these lows here, we're at this low point. That's the point at which we move up. You know, it's just typically, not typically, but how Bitcoin's been over the past few months. It's been very, very tricky. And the 2618 is really good support. We actually found a lot of resistance at the 2618 throughout this whole bull market. You go, let's see, 2024. Like here, we take a high to a low. Where did you find resistance? It was specifically right there at the 2618. We take a high to low here, high to low here. Where did you find resistance? It was, again, specifically right there at the 2618. And you even wicked a little bit through it, right? we can keep going back. It's the same thing, right? Let's see. I think, is it here? Would it be this high to low? High to low here. Okay, not the 2618 there, just the 1886. So it's not perfect. It's not going to happen every single time. But still, we've shown, and I think there's more iterations than that, but I don't care to go over all of it right now. I think there was one more iteration, actually. But the 2618 could be support. The fact that we're finding resistance at the 1618 and looking like we want to come down supports that theory. The target range of 67K to 66K comes up again here. If we can hold this as support, that would look good. That'd be productive. You're getting a higher low based on your fibs. That could send us higher. And that's the call for now. But just be open-minded to slightly lower lows. We could drop below 60K. Psychological support breaks, and we take out a lower low, and we're at a perfect area to find support. That's a great area to cause some mayhem, some panicked emotions for people to sell at probably the worst possible time. We can do this where we drop back down really harsh and we pump back up really harsh and we come back down, and then it's just a slow grind up from there, right? Like, I don't expect one way or another, if we were to drop through the floor from here or pump through the roof from here, I don't expect it's going to be a fast process. Typically, moments like this are met with long consolidation for months. So that's what we're standing at, right? That's like the same call that we had back here. It's back here, and over here we were even saying in this consolidation phase we could see a lower low. It wouldn't be crazy. I think I was even calling for a lower low at one point, kind of like what we're doing now, right? I got nothing else to say. I think I'm just rambling at this point. So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I will see you on the next one. It's no fun seeing Bitcoin below 70K yet again, but we do have some weekly bullish divergence building on the MACD. A little bit of a double bottom in the stochastics. RSI being oversold on the weekly time frame is not a good thing, but again, I do think we're at a low point. I think that we should see some consolidation and a little bit of recovery over the weeks and months ahead. Over the days ahead, over the hours ahead, a little bit of a pullback. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.